Hello everybody, hope you're having a really good day today. The title of this video is Twin Flames, the work is primary, all you have to do is love. The work of the day is the spiritual work. If there's one thing that you do to pursue results in your life, it's the spiritual work. One goes out to work at a job and gets a paycheck and they tolerate it because the paycheck's nice. But it's not a good deal unless they're living their life purpose. It's a bad deal because taxes are taken out of it, market forces affect it, efforts don't always translate into joy. The world extracts a lot of joy. The world's systems... my hair, it was itching. The world's systems are unfair and expensive. To have to account for the ego. When you're aligned to the divine, it won't matter because you have so much joy and purpose. No, to get there fluidly and effortlessly, you have to do another kind of work, and it's not necessarily fun, and it's not exactly what you'd look forward to doing. Close your eyes, feel your feelings for 14 hours, write down the bad feelings. Would you rather have a weekend partying in Holland or feel your feelings for 14 hours? It'll feel really bad, and afterwards it'll feel pretty bad too. It's work, and we have to do it. When we're not working to survive, dredging up bad feelings, working through them, and not doing the thing that brings immediate joy. The end result of taking the journey is when you look at your life as a whole, looking at it in terms of eternity. That's when it really counts. But you do want it for this lifetime, or else it's quite a big damn leap of faith. Spiritual work is like no other work. Some take pleasure in the most menial of tasks, like washing dishes for a paycheck. The fundamental thing is to do the spiritual work and learning how to have a relationship with the work. Eventually you'll find your niche. You have to see the bigger picture to have a healthy relationship with work, applying your attention in service. There is a cost you give of yourself. Make sure you always pay in ways that give back to you. Make sure every deal you make is good and healthy. Maximise the benefit to yourself. There's an opportunity cost to not doing the spiritual work. Parties and gigs are cool, but you may get sick of it because it wasn't satisfying enough. It didn't fulfil you in the way you wanted. Maybe traumas come up. Maybe you felt alone and didn't feel close to the divine. Maybe all sorts. We come to the spiritual work because usually we've already tried every other way. What the world promised really wasn't that good. An externalized life is shallow and devoid of deep joy. I love partying in Holland, by the way, but I wanted more, transcendentally more. To taste divine nectar is infinitely satisfying, but to be with the divine, you have to harmonize and vibrate into harmony with the divine. It's a lifestyle of service to do any job. Getting to work on time, working with your colleagues, etc. It's a support system to bring goods and services to people. Make time to settle into your spiritual work. It gets a little bit more complex when you start to look within, and that brings out all the poison and feels bad. Churning within, the impurities are the first thing that withdraw, that come out. It's natural to think at this point, when all the crap starts coming out, why am I doing this? I wouldn't be experiencing this if I hadn't done the work. If you didn't do the work, you wouldn't notice the poison, but thanks to the indecisiveness of ego, eventually you notice and a new decision has to be made. You have to make a new choice. The work dredges up more work. It starts off bad and gets worse. There's a little bit of relief at first, but there's one hell of a lot of shit to get through. And the shitty upheaval comes up. If you're good at the work, you can get stuck in there for a while, and you see all the storms. All you see is storms, shit, darkness and bad feeling. This is the cost of doing the work. It's expensive. In any spiritual practice, there's a churning inside and the shit comes out. It's it's how to purify consciousness. You feel the shit leaving. Upheave or appease the feeling and appease the experience. But you don't get to live a divine life then, full of joy and love in harmony with the divine. So it's so worth it. That's why the work is valuable. The most important foundation is the work. This journey is about the work, not chilling and partying. But from the work arises party and chill. After a lot of work, but it will be legitimate to celebrate. When you've won a victory, it'll feel good to celebrate your accomplishments. Not like, oh yeah, let's get smashed, it's the weekend. Every weekend's a special occasion. No, we've grown out of that a little bit. No, you really will have won a victory, and it will feel really good to celebrate your accomplishments. The joy of building, of growth. You can't give proper service in your life purpose without purifying your consciousness. Oh, great, so we have to work to work. Sounds like a shit deal, but it leads you to work that's ecstasy and incredible joy, and maybe some shit. If you don't have any shit between you and your dream, that's pretty good, but if you do, just work through it. You can live a high-functioning life by Western standards and focus on the spiritual work. You can use your life to do your spiritual work. Any activity can be a spiritual practice for a layperson. It's all about how you apply yourself. It takes dedication and commitment, career, family, success, sex, have all the good things, and still be actively spiritual. Healing your consciousness on the essential path. There is no more effective thing you can do to produce results. It doesn't matter if you're meditating or mowing the lawn. These things are immaterial. What matters is that you're using it as an opportunity to do the work. Western society is very high pressure. And if you don't meet its standards, it will throw you into the gutter. It's brutal, hence its success. It draws out the best in itself. We have to exist in Western society by honouring its roles, but I encourage you to do the spiritual work as your primary focus. I personally don't like having poison in me. I want to get shove it ASAP, but not unsustainably. Careful what you wish for. This is the long-term result. It's the fastest way to harmonious union and the divine. It's way faster to do it with your twin flame. There's much more pressure to do the work when your twin flame is present, and if you don't, it will hurt. Oh yes, but the rewards are absurdly divine, but there's a lot of work to do. You may go for weeks without seeing the light of God. Some people may use it as an excuse to be miserable. If that's not your intent, you will get out. If you're experiencing separation consciousness, you can't expect to do the work and always feel great. On some level, throwing up is relieving. Oh, yeah, I'm glad I got rid of that sandwich. But you clean your teeth and it still feels gross. This is what's healing. This is what you've been doing. You're heading towards the dream God put in your heart. You know exactly what that is. That's what God's bringing, even if it seems like the opposite. The dream comes true, but on the way it may appear like the opposite because you're upheaving that frequency. Abuse is a lack of love, not attack. A lack of love is merely a call to love. To say, I wasn't loved in these ways, and I need to love myself now. There may have been a lack of awareness of the depth of love you need to attain your dreams. Dig deep down to the roots, to where there may have been no love, and spread love there. That's the difference between living a shallow life and that. You will have your dreams the way God is doing it, not how you expected. Heal what comes up. Keep surrendering the healing process to the divine. It's only a matter of loving yourself. Where you've not yet experienced love. Experiencing a lack of love, you need these deep roots when you love there. And everything out of alignment with that love comes up from release. You're growing the love you need. Life reflects the love you need to give yourself and or the call to love. If you want a partner that's truly amazing, you need a loved partner. You see a gorgeous person full of good feelings for them. And that comes from somewhere. That's love. You can have it for real with love. All you need to do is love. Wonderful and shitty things will be reflected back to you until you've loved yourself there completely. Your heart only calls for union with God. God says, come close, my child, and stuff happens and you go, what the bloody hell is this shit? God says, love there, meet me there. God is steering you to love yourself there. It's your choice. It's the price of entry to heaven. You have not love reflected, and it's horrendously unpleasant in all the ways. Be patient. Love grows slowly. It's a creative process. There's huge love to put in because you want a seamless masterpiece. It calls forth love from you. It can be a grinding feeling. No matter. Find equilibrium. Do what you need when the question arises. Have patience and love. Your dreams will require love. You have to put the love in. That's why you're so powerful. Don't be needy. Don't say, God, do this, do that for me. The divine loves you but won't do anything for you. She'll show you, but you don't. But you gotta do it for yourself. You have to show up and bring God and love to that place. That's the work. And when you do it, it dredges up more shit and you may get lost in darkness, but then you love yourself there and bring the clarity and presence and love yourself. And when you're done and you've achieved harmonious twin flame union and found your life purpose and attained your goal and the next steps, the Ferrari, the exotic holidays, etc., you'll have a new dream arise within you and you'll look back at it again, a life of work. But while it was really unpleasant before, it gets easier. Look at what you're dumping your time into. Recognize that all of life is spiritual work. Relax into that as your primary focus. You love your twin flame. It's sometimes so easy. Other times it's like, okay, we're going to get out of this. You really have to love them anyway. Point yourself towards the primary focus. It should be the thing that's most profitable. It may not seem profitable, but you really want to move your life forward and then feel cool and then immediately take a nap. The logical mind will tell you should be doing all these things, but the spiritual work produces the most valuable, profitable things in the material world, even more than material work. Do what you're called to do according to your dharma, that's your way of being in this context. The performance of a duty is a way to worship. Delaying it delays spiritual realizations and awareness of the supreme duty, freedom from bondage. Everyone has their own dharma or code of conduct or way of being. We're cycling into a golden age. A distinguishing quality of the golden age is that everyone is in alignment, following their own dharma, following who they are, performing their own function perfectly, doing what feels good to do, and only that. Life purpose class. If you desire an end result, but not the means, just function in accordance with your way of being, your code of conduct, until the means to the end becomes pleasant for you. The spiritual work is what you do all day and you have a great time. Quite simply, love where there's a call to love. A lot of loving where there's a call to do so. But it's where the divine wants you to, not where you think. God's in charge. But you don't have to push too hard. Don't worry about what others think. You're doing your spiritual work that the Most High wants you to do. The Most High is the only opinion that matters. It provides relief from judgment. God's pleasure is creating God's diamonds. You are God's diamonds. They require pressure. In conclusion, work all day, just do that all day. The most profitable thing all day, in accordance with who you are. Do your work, make it your primary function till you transcend it and it becomes intrinsic. Even though it gets hard, do the work. Okay, my friends, I'm going to leave this message here. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.